this issue reemerged as a shadow that never really left the world of K-pop. Every time the names of BLACKPINK's Lisa and BTS's Jungkook are mentioned in one sentence, the public seems to stop breathing for a moment. Not because there is a confession, nor because of irrefutable evidence, but because of the big question mark that continues to be left hanging in the air. It's one of the longest-running and most talked-about mysteries in modern K-pop history, an issue that's never confirmed, never unequivocally refuted, but always lived off whispers, stares, and coincidences that feel too neat to call coincidences. It all starts with small pieces that look small. Attendance at the same event, an intersecting schedule, or a brief moment captured on a fan's camera. In a highly controlled industry like K-pop, small details fuel the biggest speculations. When Lisa and Jungkook are in a public space, even without any obvious interaction, the virtual world immediately vibrates. Fans began to put together their own puzzle pieces, connecting dots that were not even necessarily related to each other. But oddly enough, the more refuted by logic, the stronger this issue persists. What makes this issue so mysterious is not just because the two big names are involved, but because both are known for keeping their distance from personal gossip. Jungkook, who from a young age has lived under the glare of cameras, grew up fully aware that one small mistake could have a long-lasting impact. Lisa is a global icon whose every step is analyzed, from body language to facial expressions. When two figures of this class are caught up in rumors that never end, the public begins to ask, is this just a collective imagination of fans, or is there something that is deliberately kept too neat? The agency's silence only deepened the mystery. No lengthy clarifications, no harsh rebuttals, just a cold and professional reticence. In the Korean entertainment world, silence often speaks louder than words. Silence can mean not wanting to raise issues, but silence can also be interpreted as a form of protection against something bigger. This is where the public is divided. Some feel that this is just a baseless rumor, while others are sure that if nothing had happened, this issue would have died long ago. Interestingly, the issue of Lisa and Jungkook never turned into a scandal.
No explicit paparazzi fotos, no emotional statements, no overt drama.
There is only a strange calm in the midst of a storm of speculation. It is precisely this calm that makes many people even more curious. In a K-pop world often filled with quick clarifications and instant denials, the mystery of being left alive feels like an anomaly. The longtime fans realized one thing: Jungkook and Lisa were at the peak of their respective careers when this issue came up. Both became symbols of a generation, global faces that took K-pop names to levels never before reached. In such conditions, personal relationships are no longer a purely personal matter, but an industrial issue. Every possibility must be weighed, every risk must be calculated. It could be that this mystery is not about the presence or absence of a relationship, but rather about the choice to still maintain the boundary between man and legend. Others see the issue from an emotional point of view. Jungkook is often portrayed as a figure who harbors many things, smiling on stage but carrying a huge burden behind the scenes. Lisa is known as a strong but sensitive person, far from her family and living under global pressure. When two individuals with similar burdens are associated, the public seems to want to believe that there is a human story behind the glitter of the stage. A hope that behind a hectic schedule and impeccable demands, there is little room for sincere feelings. But to this day, all remain in the gray area. No confirmation, no denial really closes the door. This issue lives on, not because of evidence, but because of human curiosity about things that are never explained. Lisa and Jungkook, with or without purpose, have become symbols of the mystery itself. They are a reminder that in an all-open world, there are still stories that the camera cannot touch or describe by words. Maybe one day, the truth will come to the surface. Or maybe never. It could be that this mystery will continue to stick, becoming part of the history of K-pop that is retold from generation to generation. Not as a confirmed love story, but rather as the biggest question mark ever. And as long as the question mark remains, as long as the names of BLACKPINK's Lisa and BTS's Jungkook still stand at the top of the entertainment world, this issue will continue to live on, pulsing quietly among the cheering fans and the stage lights that never go out. And it is precisely at that point, when everything seems to be silent and under control, that this issue turns from mere gossip into a living legend. Every new generation of fans who enter the world of K-pop always find the same story, retold in a slightly different version, but which leads to the same question. Why has this issue never really disappeared? Time goes on, eras change, music concepts change, but the names of Lisa BLACKPINK and BTS's Jungkook remain at the forefront. They are not just idols but symbols. A symbol of hard work, sacrifice, and a great price to pay to be the best. In the midst of all that, this mystery grows like a shadow that follows in their footsteps, does not hinder, but is always there. And strangely, this shadow actually makes the public feel closer, as if there is a human side that is unattainable but feels real. Whenever Jungkook appears more reserved than usual, speculation swirls again. Every time Lisa stared blankly at the camera, the public began to interpret the meaning behind her eyes. In a world hungry for narrative, silence becomes a blank canvas on which everyone is free to paint their own story. And because no one has a clear boundary, the story develops uncontrollably. But if pulled deeper, this mystery may not be about the relationship of two great idols, but rather about how the public perceives them. Lisa and Jungkook have long surpassed the status of mere mortals in the eyes of fans. They are representations of dreams, escapades, and hopes. When two figures of this magnitude are linked, the public seems to find the perfect story they want to believe. Not because of the truth, but because the story feels beautiful, dramatic, and makes sense in the midst of a stressful world. Behind the scenes, the K-pop industry itself stands on a foundation of rarely seen sacrifice. Schedules without breaks, demands for the perfect image, and contracts that limit personal space. In such conditions, maintaining privacy is not just an option, but a survival strategy. It could be that this mystery was deliberately left floating because any truth that emerges will always have consequences. Too honest can hurt many parties. Too assertive can trigger an unexpected chain reaction. Interestingly, neither Lisa nor Jungkook seem to have been provoked by this issue. They keep moving, working, and incising achievement after achievement. It was as if this mystery was just a passing wind. But to the public, the calm attitude actually felt like a new chapter in an unfinished story. When two people choose silence in the spotlight, the world will always ask, what are they protecting? There is also another side that is rarely talked about, that perhaps this mystery is a form of protection against themselves. In a world that demands everything for public consumption, keeping one small space untouched can be the subtlest form of resistance. Lisa and Jungkook are probably aware that not everything has to be explained, not all flavors have to be announced. And in that openness, they remain human beings, not mere objects of entertainment. Over time, this issue slowly changed its function. It is no longer just a rumor, but a mirror of how fans, the media, and the industry interact with each other. He showed how strong the collective imagination is, how much the public wants to find the story behind their idol's smile. And perhaps therein lies the true power of this mystery. He lives not because of facts, but because of emotions. Today, tomorrow, or years from now, it could be that this mystery remains unanswered. And maybe it doesn't need to be answered, because for some people, question marks are more interesting than answers. BTS's Lisa BLACKPINK and Jungkook have written their names in history, not just through music and accomplishments, but through a mystery that never ends. An endless story that continues to revolve between the stage lights, the cheers of the fans, and the silence they keep tight. And as long as the world still looks at them with the same curiosity, as long as K-pop is alive with all its drama, this issue will continue to be eternal whispers, not as a revealed truth, but rather as a story that teaches one simple but bitter thing. Not everything we want to know is destined to be known.